So what I'm going to be talking about is my personal experience as a micro influencer and how I've been able to grow my account, work with brands, receive PR, and make money. I started my Instagram account, I would say about 4 years ago. I wasn't posting a lot, maybe 2-3 times a week, if that, once a week maybe. And I don't know, I was just feeling super, super discouraged. I understand the feeling. I know what you're going through if you're in this little phase of your social media accounts. I was feeling really discouraged. I wasn't getting recognized by brands. People weren't following me. And honestly, I just felt like giving up. So honestly, I did put it aside for a little while. Even all my friends, and you know who you are, Tanessa, one of my best friends, she kept pushing me to just post. She was like, just do it. You love makeup. It's what you love. Don't look at numbers. Just do it. And I did. So mainly over quarantine time. So when was that? About literally exactly a year ago, I started dedicating more time to my socials and just having fun with makeup, posting a look every single day because I was bored and I had a lot of time on my hands. And that's kind of where it started to pick up. Just like she had said, I kind of just forgot about numbers. I stopped caring about how many followers I was getting. I stopped caring about brands liking my photos or brands reposting me. I simply tuned in to the fact that I love makeup. I'm a certified makeup artist. I have so much time on my hands. I'm bored out of my mind. I'm just gonna do what I love and share my looks and what I come up with just for fun. So keep that in mind. It started off just for fun. Expanding on that, you need to make sure this is something that you love because it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's easy to get discouraged when it's not something that you truly love because it takes time and you need to be patient. As I started posting more and more consistently, I started to discover my style a little bit more, my posting style, my aesthetic, and all that stuff. And that's when brands really started noticing me and started liking my photos, commenting on my photos. And yeah, it kind of just went from there. I wrote this down in all capitals, so I'm gonna say it. I started treating my makeup account as a job. I really looked at it as a job and I put so much priority on it. I dedicated so much time to it. So that's something I suggest that you do if you're really passionate and serious about this becoming something greater. You really need to look at it as a job. You really need to dedicate your time to it, put effort into it, just like you would your job. Now when I started notice brands noticing me, commenting on my posts, I started getting reposted here and there. I really started to invest in myself. I started researching what kind of lighting was good, what kind of lighting did other beauty gurus use, the person I searched up was Carly Bible. She's like my inspiration. I love her. I've always looked up to her from day one. Before I started makeup, I loved her. And she suggested this I'm looking at it right now. Oh my God, don't look straight into the light. I'm like blind now. But anyways, it's called the Young Nuo. I don't remember the exact name, but I will link it below if you want to buy it. It is amazing. It completely has changed my content and how it looks and the quality of it. So I highly suggest investing in your content, invest in yourself if you want to succeed. And listen, I'm not saying you need to go spend thousands of dollars on the most expensive camera and the most expensive lighting setup. That is not the case. I literally use my iPhone 11. You can use your phone. And I use this light off Amazon and a ring light off Amazon. I think each of them were like $40 to $70. So another thing is stay true to yourself. Find your own style and what you kind of like to post. Don't copy what someone else is doing because that's already being done. You really need to be true to yourself and discover what you like and what you have to offer. Also, another big important thing that I have found that has helped me is following other accounts like me. Follow people in your niche, follow people who love, again, I'm going to use makeup as the example, makeup and beauty and skincare and fashion, whatever it may be. Follow those people and support each other. Because more often than not, when you comment on someone's post and show love to their post, they're going to do the same thing back. My other piece of advice is just be patient with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. It takes time. Unless you're that lucky person that goes viral overnight, which isn't always the case most of the time. Just be patient. Trust the process. I'm still trusting that process. I'm not some huge influencer with hundreds of thousands of followers. And that's what's going to lead into my next section of this video, is how to get noticed by brands with less than 10,000 followers and how to receive PR. Okay, how to get noticed by brands and how to receive PR, which is free products. It's amazing. So tip number 1, I wrote it down. I'm gonna look at my notebook. What do I have? If you want brands to support you, show love. Yes, you have to show love to brands. I was in a clubhouse recently with Jouer Cosmetics, and this is what they recommended. The brand themselves, so keep this in mind. If you want a brand to show you love and comment and like your posts and repost your posts, you need to do the same thing. You need to comment on their photos, you need to like them, share them, tag them, and so on. That's one thing that I really found helped me get noticed by brands. I always commented on their posts. I liked them, I tagged them in all my posts, and that really helped me. Okay, so another thing I did that really helped me, I think, get noticed by brands was turning on my post notifications. So every time they would post, I'd be sure to click on it right away as soon as I can, like their photo, comment on their photo, and after time, they noticed that. So what really helped grow my account, I would say, yeah, probably the number one thing that helped grow my account was getting reposted by brands. And I'm going to tell you just how I got that to happen. Think about it. Brands have like millions of followers for the most part. Getting reposted by them is major exposure for your account. I'm going to be totally honest, completely straight up. You need to post quality content. Brands love high quality content. There's no denying it. If you're posting fuzzy pictures or pictures with busy backgrounds, they might not repost you. I'm just being honest. Going back to what I had mentioned before, invest in yourself. If you want this bad, I really suggest investing in yourself. Buy some lighting. It's really not that much money. If you have the funds to do it, I highly suggest doing it. It really helped me in growing my account and getting noticed by brands. Another thing that people I feel like don't talk about so much is the fact that you can reach out to brands. They don't always need to reach out to you first. So yeah, it's a myth if people are telling you you can't reach out to brands, it's unprofessional, blah. That's not true. I've heard from brands themselves, they don't mind when people do that. As long as it's professional and not too pushy, you're not asking for money, you're not asking for a million free things, I will let you know a little quick way of how to reach out to brands, how I've done it in the past, and how it's worked for me. Before I get into that, I just want to mention as well, you never know who's looking at your account. Whenever a brand has reached out to me, they let me know that they found me on Instagram through another brand reposting me, for example. Or for most cases, they've actually found me on the TikTok For You page. Like, you just never know. So with that being said, make sure you have contact information, your email, for example, in your bio or some way at least easily accessible on your profile so they can email you and reach out to you. So if you want to reach out to a brand, this is how you would do it. I could probably make an entire separate video on this, but I'll touch on it briefly just so you guys kind of have an idea. So make your email to them short and concise, to the point. Don't ramble on about randomness. They're just going to delete your email. Again, I'm just being honest. These are things that I've been told from brands, and I really want to share it with you to help you out. So don't ramble on. Introduce yourself quickly. Really quick, get to the point, let them know why you want to try their products and let them know what products you have tried in the past. Don't lie to them. They have ways of figuring out. Again, brands told me this. So next you're going to want to include a few analytics on your socials and make sure you link your socials as well. Again, that's a really just brief little blurb I can say about emails. I would probably actually love to make a whole separate video on this topic because there's just so much to cover. You could also include a media kit. Again, I would love to make a separate video on that. I don't want to make this video too long, so let me know in the comments if that's something you want to learn. So once you've reached out to all these brands, do not be discouraged. I'm going to be honest again. I'm keeping this whole video super honest. A lot of them probably won't write back to you. It's just the truth. But you might get the odd one or two that will, and that's what happened for me. I probably emailed like, I'm gonna be honest, like 10 different brands on the same day. And I heard back from like 2 or 3. But hey, that's better than nothing. Going back to getting reposted by brands, there's a couple more things that I want to touch on that I hadn't mentioned. And that is building brand relationships. You liking and commenting on their posts and them doing that back to you, that's really creating a brand relationship. And if you want to get reposted by brands, another piece of advice that I have is paying attention to their feed. Look at their feed, look at the kind of things and products that they're promoting, and kind of tailor your content to that. And trust me, that seriously works. I've done that so many times and I've gotten reposted just by doing that. All that leads into the topic that I think everyone is most interested in, and that is how to make money off social media as a micro influencer, and good money. Also keep in mind, everything I've touched on throughout this video plays a crucial role when it comes to making money on social media. What I've learned from brands themselves and from my personal experience, you don't need hundreds of thousands and millions or just thousands in general of followers. You can do this with 10K and under. Yes, you can make money with 10K and under. Brands are actually really focusing on micro influencers as opposed to influencers with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people have this idea in their mind that you need to have thousands and thousands of followers in order for brands to notice you and to make money, but that is not the case. That is so far from the truth. Look at it this way. Someone could have, let's say, 10,000 followers or even less, 8,000 followers with really, really dedicated followers who really trust their opinion and comment and like, and they have basically a really strong community of followers. And then there could be someone with, let's say, 400,000 followers that gets like no comments. They don't answer people's DMs. They don't like people's comments or respond to them. They just have no sense of community going on. What would you go for? Someone with a small amount of followers, but a dedicated following and a following that trusts the influencer, or the influencer with 400,000 followers with a following that doesn't even like their photos? When you take that into consideration, followers and numbers really don't mean anything in that sense, and that's how brands look at it. Take me, for example. I have 13,000, or well, just over 13,000 followers on Instagram, and brands have paid me to create content for them. So that just tells you, you don't need 100,000 followers to make money. But keep in mind, I do have a great audience of people who trust my opinion, and I only post products that I really genuinely care about, and they know that, and that's why they trust me, and that's why they keep coming back. So that is key. Really, really build a relationship with your audience and make them trust you. Again, be patient with this. You're not going to start making money as soon as you start posting on Instagram. It took me, 4 years to get to this? So yeah, keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged. Keep going, because this could happen for you. So let me leave you with a few final takeaways to pretty much sum up this video. Number 1, be consistent and do not get discouraged. This takes time. Number 2, be patient. Again, this takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. Unless you get lucky and go viral overnight, then good for you. But in most cases, that doesn't really happen. So be patient with yourself. Number 3, you don't need 1 million followers to make money. Number 4, invest in yourself and invest in your content. Number 5, be yourself and try to stand out as much as you can. There's so many people posting on social media, so just be true to yourself. And my final takeaway is just have fun with it. Don't lose touch of that. Creating content is so much fun. It's not all about making money. Me personally, I didn't go into this with the idea of making money. I did it because I loved it and I had so much fun with that.
So if you're watching this video, you want to get your first brand deal. I'm here with my friend Bella, who is an Instagram influencer with a small following, and we're going to show you how you can get a brand deal with any size audience. In this video, you'll be able to walk away with the tips and tricks my company, X8 Media, personally uses to land some of the biggest brands in the world, and how you can too. I'm like so excited. Let's jump in. So I'm so excited to be here with you today because we're talking about brand deals.
Yay!
For people who don't know you, do you want to talk about like your name, age, where you're from, what you're doing? Just a quick bio of Bella.
So I am Bella Osterhout, and I am 17, and I have been good friends with a well-known YouTuber, Haley. I've always had kind of just like a tiny bit of a following just from being friends with her, and so up until this year, I never really used my Instagram or treated it as a business. It was more just like posting pictures with my friends. So this year, I wanted to start taking it seriously and start being more of an influencer. Right now, I'm currently posting more lifestyle things, but I want to get more into fashion type content.
So that brings us to today's call, and you also want to work with fashion brands, maybe. I asked you last week to create a list of brands you want to work with. So Bella, imagine if this call goes well, you learn everything you need to know. 1 month from now, everything goes well. Where do you want to go?
Definitely want to be able to work with pretty nice brands and hopefully start monetizing my content. I think that's the main main goal for me right now. I just think that it's an amazing opportunity that I already kind of have a head start or have my foot in the door. In the future, I want to have my own brand of some sort.
I totally agree. I think starting early can allow you to, in the future, have more options, right? So today's video, we're going to teach you how to get your first brand deal. And we're going to talk a little bit more about working not only with just any brand, brands you believe in and brands that value you so you can get paid. Sounds good?
Yeah.
You wrote down a list of like 80 brands that you want to work with. I already looked at Bella's account, and I can definitely tell you with your current following of around 30,000 and your engagement rate of like 10,000 likes, I would definitely say you can charge a brand anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per post. So when you hear that number, what do you think?
I mean, when I see that number, it's pretty shocking, honestly. It kind of makes me realize, like, oh, that's the value of what I'm posting. Like, I don't think I understand the value of the audience that I have, the engagement I have.
So the current problem that you have that is holding you back from charging $1,000 per post, which is great. But the reason why you feel like you're not there yet is because you realize that some of the emails you're getting from the current brands are not as valued to your worth. Maybe they don't see it, or they're coming in with a different kind of collaboration.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the things I'm getting are a little bit of commission, code, action, or sending products. And I feel like that's not the direction I want to take it right now. And a lot of the brands that are asking me to work with them, I feel like aren't necessarily appropriate for my audience. And I want to be able to cater things to them and my demographic and not just take everything I get.
I would say if you want to make money with brand deals, it's all about two things. And I'm going to go over these two things that will get you to your goal. So the current problem for Bella right now is her brands that are kind of coming in aren't her ideal products, or they're not having enough cash flow to invest. And not all brands have money, and that's totally fine. But for Bella's goals of maybe creating a business or traveling, you need capital to like grow. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people get really weird about money, and I used to be the same way. So we're going to dive right in, get you some brand deals so you can start your next phase of your career. So in order to understand how Bella is going to grow her account and get some brand deals, we're going to use the analogy of football. Now in marketing and in your content, you can't just be an offense and just attack and outreach. You still have to have defense, which is good content. So I'll go over what that looks like. So if offense is attacking, it's going out there and getting brands. You need to email brands. You need to send pitches. You also need to think about aligning a brand's mission with yours, right? Now let's talk about defense. You have to create content that attracts brands in. The main difference is for offense, you have to go to brands, and for defense, brands come to you. But you need both, because what happens when you just have offense, right? If people are just attacking and no one's staying at your baseline, you're not going to win the game. And it's vice versa. If people are just defending and they're not attacking, you're not going to get progression. So in order to win a game or win a brand deal, you need to have both. So step one is to make a list of brands, and don't try to think about what's realistic. The key is volume. So you came up with 80 companies, which is great. So in order to get a brand deal, you need to outreach. And outreach to me looks like emailing. Today, I'm going to teach Bella how to find the email of a person at Fabletics, create a script, and make sure that they reply. And we're going to do all of this today. Are you ready?
Heck yes, I'm so ready.
I'm going to teach you my secret tools, tips, and tricks. So let's start off with finding the email. So finding the email is probably the most important. Like, you don't ever want to just email someone with like an info@fabletics.com. A lot of people make that mistakes. I use a tool called Hunter.io. This is completely free, so I just want to let you know that. But Hunter.io basically scrapes the entire internet world and finds companies for you to email. So let me show you how to look for this. Type in the domain, fabletics.com. You want to find someone who is in marketing, because they manage all the brand deals. So what I'm going to do is literally find their bio. So this is a senior design manager. So you don't want that. Communications is probably your ideal. So you can click this and you can find that there's like a media@fabletics.com. That's a good email to look from, because it's more specific to working with maybe media. So I would kind of copy this, and what I would do is I use something called Notion to document all of this. I told Bella to document everything on Notion, so you can add this to the link. But I always recommend to get at least 2 emails for each brand so you can have an option. I would really say it's key to find more of a personable email. So what I can do is I'm going to go find someone who has more of an involvement in the company personally. Another tip is if you can't find the marketing person on Hunter.io, you can always use LinkedIn. So what I'm going to do is go to Fabletics, and then I'm going to go into their people, employees. It's kind of sneaky, creepy stuff, but you want to go find their marketing person. So here you go, online director of retail marketing. Look at that, Daniela Pastor. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. Then you can go back to Hunter.io and find Daniela. So you want to find the name. If you guys are struggling to find it, you can actually use the same software to find Daniela Pastor at Fabletics.com. It's super cool. It kind of finds it. There we go. There we go. So you want to copy this email, but now that you have this, you can actually email both contacts, and you have 2 options in increasing your chances of getting a brand deal.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, let's talk about formulating your email. I'm going to go over to Gmail. The key with sending out emails is making the first email short and sweet. At my company, X8 Media, we send a ton of emails to brands, and we find that for every 10 emails we send, one person opens and replies. So when reaching out to brands, just keep in mind, don't be scared to send out an email because it's a numbers game and you need to be okay with experimenting and sending a lot of emails at once. I'm going to send you the email script that I typically use so you can just see it. This is a really simple universal template you can apply, Bella. The key with this is sounding professional, straight to the point, and not talking too much. If you talk too much, it seems like you're too much time on your hands and no one wants to talk to you. That's kind of weird, but it's true. But what you want to do is say, hi, my name is XYZ, and I'm reaching for a collab inquiry for your name. My channel, or you could say Bella's channel, is a blah, 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 with how many subscribers or followers you have. And talk about how many likes you have, because that's the most easy to showcase your engagement rate. Say that we would like to do an integration featuring your product. Let me know you're interested.
Hey guys, it's Editing Jade. I'm gonna give you guys a quick little influencer rant slash boot camp, okay? I see a lot of influencers make this mistake and they add the pricing to the first email. The reason why this is a problem is because brands don't work that way. And let me explain. So yesterday, I was speaking on a panel with Ian from SeatGeek. If you don't know who Ian is, he's the director of marketing for SeatGeek, which is a huge company that sells tickets. They're responsible for doing the multi-million-dollar integrations with David Dobrik and all those successful campaigns with billions of views. And he told me on our panel that the way they measure success is conversion, and they issue out budgets every quarter. Okay, so what does that mean? So you have to understand in the brand's perspective, if you come with like, this is how much I charge, and A, it's the wrong time because they don't have that, you didn't come at the time where they're issuing the budget. Second of all, if you have a fixed rate, then they feel like you're not as flexible and they feel like you might not even want to be a part of the campaign because they don't have it. So what you want to do is you really just want to plant the seed that your brand exists and put it at the forefront. So maybe in the few weeks or few months, they'll keep you in mind for their next campaign. I think that's the key thing I realized with outreach. Like you have to have the expectation that you might get lucky and close a brand immediately and get product. But in regards to getting bigger payments, brands work in a quarterly system. So be very patient and understand that you want to basically use this email to get yourself out there. In regards to closing the brand deal, I'll have a second part of this video series where I talk about how to follow up with brands and continue that process. But for now, this video is all about reaching out and kind of getting your name out there. Okay, so just want to let you know, have that expectation, and thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
So once you find the email, formulate the email, it's time to send it out. So what I want you to do is I have an assignment for you because Bella's freaking battery is 4%, so we have to rush. So this is your task this week. You have to email 25 brands, find their email using hunter.io, or you can DM them if you're struggling. Send them out the script. You also want to send out the media kit if they ask. I have a whole video about how to build a media kit. If you guys want to see it, let me know. I recommend not to send it in the first email. Do not send it in the first email. Just send it if they ask. And then we can talk about negotiating rates. Like I mentioned, Bella, you can charge anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per post for the feed. For stories, you can charge anywhere from $250 to $500 per post. So that's something to do if they do reply. So this is a great opportunity for her to close her first deal. I think you're ready to go ahead and attack. Let's do a follow-up next week to get your results, to see who replied, how to negotiate. Like I mentioned, for every 10 emails, typically I get one reply. So don't feel bad if you don't get any.
Okay, awesome. I'm so excited.
Bye, Bella. I'm so excited for you. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Thanks.